From the combined crew of blindandroidusers.com and accessibleandroid.com, it's time for your favorite Android podcast. Kick back now and enjoy another fine episode from these fanboys and gals as they navigate Android from a blindness perspective. And now, here's your crew. Welcome to episode 248 of the Blind Android Users Podcast. We're recording today, September 6, 2025. I'm Warren here in the state of Washington.
And I'm John in the state of Virginia.
Karin in Lebanon.
And it's Sally from Turkey.
All right, welcome, boy, and let's do this. Coming up in this episode, in our Android Basics, we look at the state of translation apps in 2025. In our spotlight, we look at what Samsung is cooking with its tablets and the new phone they just dropped on us. And to close today's episode, we return to our miniaturized series on the new features found on the Pixel 10. That's what we have coming up in this episode. For a well-checked being, let's get started with a young, handsome young man. I'm talking about Sally now, someone who's been hiding from us ever since some good thing came along. Sally, what's going on, my man?
Well, I'm doing good. This week's been very busy, like back to school times, and we are working hard backstage for kids and all of that. It's been a really busy week for me, and yesterday I really needed a big, long sleep, and I'm here recharged and back to business. How are you?
You had a good sleep. Well, I'm doing well. Things are okay for us. School started though, like I said, when was it? 26, August 26. So it's no longer a new thing, but everyone is back in school. And weather-wise, however, we're kind of heating up in September, something we didn't get in August. For example, I think we were like 97 or whatever, like a couple days ago, and today probably like 87 or 86 degrees. So really odd for the month of September, but we'll see what happens. Karin, how about the watermelon and cheese? I'm just kind of wondering, since kind of getting late in the season, what else are you doing besides avoiding oranges?
I'm doing well. Everything is going well here. Actually, I'm enjoying the weather right now because it's a cool start of September, which is great. And I'm doing well. Actually, I can say that this week was a break after really like a few busy weeks. But right now I'm taking a break and everything's going well.
You know, the funny thing is that yesterday when I was trying to mow the lawn here, it was trying to rain. And then later on, like late this morning, I thought I heard some thunder rumblings, and it was like a dream. And yes, indeed, it rained a little bit overnight. John, what's going on there in Virginia land? I know you guys were in the 70s. That's really good. I wish we had that.
Yeah, it felt like fall for most of the week, but it's heated back up. Now it's supposed to be up to 95 today, so it fooled us. But my week was good. Obviously, school's starting back, but we got our routine down. My son's going to kindergarten now, and the school is close enough to the house that we don't actually have a bus route. So I have to go pick him up. His mom drops him off on her way to work, and then I pick him up after school. So I've gotten down that routine of figuring out where I'm supposed to go and how to get there and get back. So after 4 times, I feel pretty confident in getting there, getting him home.
I love that. That's really good because, what happened to me when we moved here, and I think I've told this story, and I didn't take my time to learn the route. We just drove there, and I thought I had it down, and then when I tried to go there, I got lost, and thank goodness I left like almost 30 minutes early. And so by the time I figured out my way, asking I only had like 5 minutes to spare. So I'm glad you've learned the route so it wouldn't be a problem and all of that. So it's really nice and exciting to be able to go pick those little ones there. And they're always excited to see Papa or Mama come to pick them up. So thanks for learning the route. Don't do what I did and always live
although
on time.
he's been disappointed. So my wife took off from work the first day of school so she could go with me the first time, and then my mother-in-law called me the next day like, can I come help you today? And I'm like, okay, sure. So she helped me the second day, and then the next 2 days when I did it on my own, he was like, why are you by yourself? Like, he was just disappointed to see only his dad. I'm like, you better get used to this. This is how it's going to be from now on.
I love it. Yeah, because I mean, you had mom and then you had grandma, and now all by yourself. Come on, man, what's the deal? So I got it. Beautiful. And now, the Android Basics segment. This is a segment where we discuss the things that power your device from behind the scenes. And now, here's this week's episode, Android Basics. Let's now turn on to our Android Basics, and today we're talking about the subject of translation apps and whether or not these things are necessary as a standalone app in 2025. Karen, girl, do you do any translation? Let's start with you. We kind of been talking about some apps, whether they're necessary or not in 2025. I know we've talked about cache readers, and there was something else that we talked about. Now we're visiting this subject matter, a very important subject matter that you and I try to do with Arabic, and we failed, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a big failure. It was actually not our failure. The one that failed was the Pixel, because
I knew this was coming.
well, this is the truth. Actually, you can't hide it. Well, before we get into what happened, actually, I think that translation apps are very important. Translation advancements are so important, and actually there are many people who are benefiting from the advancements that are happening. Actually, right now the apps, especially if we talk about the AI bots like Gemini and GPT, they're more aware of the context, and translation relies heavily on the context because there are many words that have different meanings. So if you are able to get what surrounds this word, and when it is used, you are able to give a better translation. And this helps in reducing the errors, helps in also reducing the troubles of some people, because you will usually need to deal with someone or who is not actually using your language. You don't have any language to in common, so you may need this. Also, this is an open world right now. We sometimes deal with developers. We sometimes deal with other people, like in groups and such. So whatever advancements and improvements we get, they are translated actually to better communication between the parts of the world, and less errors and less troubles. So actually, I think that we are going, like, if we compare what we have now to what we had maybe a few years ago, things are really better. Well, people were just relying usually on the Google Translate, which didn't have anything related to AI at that time. And we used to have such problems in translation. Sometimes the translation was too literal, to the point that you couldn't get what's the meaning, or what's the person is trying to express. So now it's just better. I can say that because I use translation, because I deal with more than one language, and I sometimes as well translate because of Jisho. So we need sometimes to send a message to the developer, or we need to read the change logs, which are always in Chinese. So usually you get something better when you're dealing with Gemini or ChatGPT. So this is really great. And I think that, yeah, we need translation apps. Most people need translation apps. And the good thing is that now you are able to translate you have live translation. You can translate just by speaking the word, and then you will get the translation. So the other party also, if you are dealing with someone face to face, this person is able to read, to hear the translation in his own language. So this is also making the communication much easier. And there's also the live translation, which is in call translation, which is happening offline, and you're going to show us a demonstration. It's available on Pixels and on Samsungs. Actually, it's different between the two, but yeah, I think that we are going in a route which is interesting, and I hope to see better implementations of translation. I mean, to have good translation which happens offline and which is actually something that you could rely on. I think we are coming to this in the foreseeable future. I hope to.
You know, something really nice you mentioned about translations, because I remember the Google Translate back, you know, with kids in school and in high school, and, you know, some kids that were just migrating here. And we used that a lot, especially, you know, when we're trying to communicate something with them. And I had no way of trying to communicating with those guys. And I remember, I'm talking of 2007, 2008 now. So this subject or matter of translation has been something that's been with us for quite a while. And just watching it mature to where it is right now, I think it's a really good thing. And Sally, you tend to like languages, most especially Cambodian, you know, Laos and all of that good stuff. Have you tried it? Oh gosh, I'm always thinking about you, about this translation, Sally.
You know, that was what I was going to talk about. Like, I'm pretty much into languages since I was a kid, and I'm doing translation, like translation, some text or software and all in between. And besides that, I'm also into those languages you said, Asian languages or African languages, when you hear on the radio, just browsing through the online radio. Back in the days, I was wishing that there was something to instantly translate me what those guys are saying. Like, they're talking on the radio something about, really, I don't even know what they're talking about, but it's always interesting. Like, sometimes guys sitting there talking about, or they're picking phone calls and talking about it. And that was coming to me quite interesting. And I wish I would knew. And maybe I was hoping that I would call them someday in my own language or in English, talking to them, and they would be translated into their native language, and how happy they could be. I don't know. That would be great. So that was my thinking. So years ago, for translation, there were the dictionary apps. You guys talked about Google Translate, but there were also some dictionary apps for other languages where you could like write the word, and you could get a like pronunciation and the meaning of that word in that language, in particular language. I was pretty into that. I had a lot of dictionary apps, just like being the app junkie, just like you were in. So,
It's good to be an app junkie, because you know
yeah,
what?
exactly.
My argument is that, you know,
Like,
if one fails, you have the other. It's a backup.
like, even remember, I had like an English to Mongolian dictionary. You know,
Well, you know,
like,
becoming a Mongolian minister, you know, trying to take the place of late Austin.
that was pretty interesting. I was always trying to find out like how those people pronounce those things, those words, and languages are always really interesting. So, seeing the progress and all, I'm really impressed and really happy for the future of translation. Like, I heard you and Anna speaking on the call, and she's speaking in Spanish. You guys gonna hear, and you're speaking English, and that's amazing. That instantly translating it. Like, last year, I tried it with Korean. She's speaking Arabic, and I speak in Turkish. Samsung was doing a good job, but now what I hear is like it's even better with Excel. So I'm really hoping for something bigger and broader languages support. Of course, not just like a couple of languages. Like, someone from Africa, like those regional languages, can talk to us in their native language, and we can understand the translation in our languages. That would be great. That could make the barrier even more disappearing and much more like accessible for everyone.
You will be able then to let your dream come true, and then
exactly. This is my
you
dream.
will call the
Honestly,
radio
that's my
station.
dream.
You will
Yeah.
call the radio station in Cambodia.
Yeah, this is my dream.
Yeah, and also I was going to ask, do you have Galaxy Buds? Because they do. I know you have a phone that supports it.
Yeah.
You can listen. You could like actually listen to the radio station, and if you have your earbuds in, it will translate everything that it hears like around you.
Wow,
Because
I definitely should try that one.
yeah,
With
because
the
I haven't
latest builds, right?
I haven't used it, but I've seen some people talking about using it in
Wow.
like certain
That-
situations, like
that
they're
will
in an
be,
Uber, like
really
they're in an
amazing.
Uber, and the driver's like talking in some language they don't know, and they're
Yeah.
just like sitting there eavesdropping with their Galaxy Buds in their ears.
Yeah, like a couple of days ago, I tried using the Chat GPT's translation with a Russian man, and it worked up to some level, but he was speaking too fast that sometimes GPT wasn't able to get that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that was a rapid fire.
Yeah,
and
like-
Spanish is rapid fire. So really, so when we talk about these translations, I think it's a lifesaver, because what I'm looking at is when you travel to other places and you can't speak the language and all of that. Unlike before, now you could just have your phone and just use that right there, because the Google Translate is really making it very easy. And I'm kind of beginning to wonder what the place is for the translation apps. I mean, like, I'm looking at Duolingo and some of those, but Google is really catching up with those things. And if you have something that you're not paying for, I think that more and more people will be using that, because it makes life a whole lot easier than trying to pay for some subscription and while you have something El Fribo.
You know, somebody will kill me for saying this, but Duolingo is losing, because the way they are trying to teach the language is, it's like, I don't think it's no more in the way that we need, because they're like giving you really expensive plans to master the language, and these days it's not really easy, and like most people don't want to afford it, or they simply go with AI.
And since you guys have mentioned something about the little conversation that Anna and I had, let's transition to showing how that works in real time with the Pixel Translate, or the voice translate that comes with Pixel 10. And the way it works is that the call is initiated from the Pixel device, and whoever you're calling, they don't have to have a Pixel device. But as long as the call is coming from a Pixel device, the translation would.
Or if the Pixel device is receiving the call, you can still turn it on from Call Assist in the phone's controls, right?
Yeah. So when you start the call, you turn it on in the call assist, and it would have you choose the from language. So let's say you're speaking in English, and from English to, and you choose the to language. And as you guys have indicated, we only have a few languages that are supported. We don't have a lot of languages. I think probably just a handful of languages that are supported right now. I think it's just like German, French, Italian, Spanish, Japanese. I think Swedish is one of those. And is there another one? Karen, you remember if there's another language to support it?
Maybe Portuguese.
Yeah, there we go. There's Portuguese, and I think that's just about it, isn't it? So Karen and I try to do it in Arabic, and it wasn't there. And so the funniest thing is that we tried the messages. It says it supports messages, for example, and then I sent Karen a message, and she sent me a message back in Arabic. And you know what? um, it just, Karen, can you tell us that story? It just didn't work too well, did it? It's a little bit shorter than what you had. I mean, it tried to read it for me in Arabic, like the Google TTS was trying to read it and all of that, but it didn't read the complete message. It didn't translate it into English. So what I wound up doing is that I pulled it into Gemini and I said, translate the following. And I was able to read the message that Karen sent me. But back to what Anna and I were doing, I called Anna and we had a little conversation, and she and I were speaking, and I spoke to her in English and she responded in Espanol. And here's that sample of what Anna and I did, and which we thought is really good. I think this is the way I'm going to be learning how to cheat on my Espanol. Here's that conversation between Anna and I. Hello, Anna.
Hello, Warren.
Hello, how are you, Anna?
Estoy muy bien. ¿Y usted, Warren? I'm doing very well, and you said it. I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm trying to be a good kid, and I thought I'd reach out to you because, it's been a while since I talked with you, and I'm just wondering where that pretty girl's hiding at.
Ay, 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 ay. Bueno, oh. Well, I'm at work. I'm eating for a block, so behave very well.
So you're at work. Are you at lunch now? Because I know it's lunch hour.
Exacto. ¿Sabe lo que me... Exactly. Do you know what I'm paying attention with this characteristic? It's that my voice seems like the translation of mine seems to sound like my voice, and the translation of you seems to sound like the voice of you. It's something very interesting. What?
I know. It's really neat to hear me speaking Espanol, and I think I'm going to use this to cheat.
Y también otra cosa que es interesante. And also another thing that is interesting is that I listen to the first words in English, and then I hear a tone, and then I hear the translation in his voice. And when I'm talking, I hear far away from the voice of mine. So it's obvious that we're talking through a translator electronically, but it's very interesting and it works really well, it seems to me. What do you think?
It really sounds good to me because, it's obvious that we're doing voice translation here, and I think that it might even be better if I wasn't talking on the speaker, because I know that as I'm talking, I'm also hearing my Espanol translation coming back at me.
No, sí, pero I don't know if yes, but it's something very interesting and it's working. Let's see, what topic can we develop? Let's see if the translation is clear yet. But don't complicate my life too much by taking Trump out or anything like that.
No, it would be a sin for me to complicate the life of a pretty girl.
The planned vacations are not going to come out, you and your family, or took a vacation this year?
So I wasn't going to go to vacation this year, but I was thinking about it because it's kind of a little bit expensive. And then my family is going to Europe next summer. And so I'm kind of, gosh, this is going to be so expensive. But I'm thinking whether or not maybe I should travel. But, with the pixel season, I am kind of, stressed out. I mean, not stressed out, but I'm kind of stretched out financially, so I wouldn't be able to travel. I put my money onto the Google Pixel phone.
Una cosa u otra, eh? One thing or another, huh?
Yeah. So one thing after the other. Una cosa tras otra. Well, good, Anna.
Here it's very hot already.
Oh, it is hot here too. All right. This will conclude our little testing of the Google translation or voice translation during a call. And, there's no better person than me talking with the pretty girl.
Y lo que and what we are very kind. What I observe is that the translation is not perfect, but when one needs to speak with someone who does not speak the same language, then this is very serious. It is a new and very welcome feature.
Indeed, it is. I think I'm satisfied. I mean, at least the other person gets the gist of what I'm trying to, communicate, and whether, the syntax or the grammar or whatever is not correct, at least they understand what I'm trying to talk about.
Exacto.
I really like how I sound in Espanol.
Pues, mi voz es un poco. My voice is a bit dramatic. I don't know. I think I didn't know what I was talking about like that.
Well, and it's lunchtime. You're kind of busy also. I didn't mean to kind of, take your lunchtime, but I'm so thankful.
Claro, con todo gusto y saludos. Sure, with great pleasure and greetings to all the people who join us on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Okay, bye-bye. Oh, yes.
Okay, bye. Well, that's that conversation between Anna and I. Guys, what are your thoughts, comments about this? I think we have a nice start, don't we? Because what I really like is that you guys were talking about how it compares to what Samsung does. It actually was using my voice as to using a TTS engine.
I was impressed by it. So when during Google's keynote, they had Jimmy Fallon demonstrate this with somebody. I think they were also doing Spanish, but I was impressed with how the voices sounded just like the people, or close enough to the people. And at first I was like, they have to be faking this, but then what's happened recently with Apple promising things, I was like, Google would not fake this. So this actually is happening, and the crazy thing is that it's happening on device. It's not, none of it's being sent to the cloud, and it's happening so quickly. I mean, in the past, when we've wanted to make a TTS voice, for example, on a Samsung phone or on an Apple device to sound like us, we had to provide so many voice samples, like sometimes like 50 or more. But this is just like, it just picks it up immediately almost.
Sally, any thoughts about this? I know you're the language guy and you like all that Mongolian stuff.
I'm really impressed, and like hoping to see even more better versions on more languages coming up in the future. This is going to be great, really, and I cannot wait to try it for you with English and Turkish. I want to know how you sound in Turkish.
Yeah, because on Samsung devices, they have this feature also on certain Samsung devices, but it doesn't mimic the voice. It just gives you the Samsung TTS for whatever that language is.
Yeah, it doesn't mimic the voice, and the processing is a little bit slower comparing to what Pixel has right now. So for when you say words, you need to wait for the response a little bit, and then you need to talk again.
The Samsung one waits for you to say what you want to say, and then it translates. So here in this demo, it started translating, like when you started, when Anna, like when Anna and or Warren started talking, it started directly trying to translate. So this is a big difference. It's trying to be like the live translation that happens in conferences, and so it's something really good. It saves time, and but the problem, I think, is with people who could like understand the other language. So with Samsung, you're able to hear the person who is talking, and then you will hear the translation. So if you want to try to check if the translation was right, this would be easier. However, with Pixels, I think this would be slightly harder because of that. Although, as a feature or as a principle, I think that this is better because it saves time, and it's like really like when the person is talking, it's just trying to translate. So I like this. But Warren, your voice, like it wasn't able to mimic your voice well, I think. That wasn't, for me, it wasn't similar to your own voice. However, with Anna, it was able really to mimic the voice in a way that was really good. So I think that was something like, it was amazing. It was really impressive. I didn't expect that. Well, I hope that Anna did some comments related to the translation, because she knows both English and Spanish, so she could just tell us if the translation was good. But I think, yeah, you were able to understand each other, and that's something good. But I mean, with Samsung, there are serious troubles with the translation. We tried it like last year, so maybe things have improved. But at that time, there were serious issues. It wasn't able really to perform well. I think Pixel 1 is doing a better job. However, I hope that Anna did some comments regarding the quality of the translation.
Yeah, and then Karen, you and I try to do the Arabic translation, in messages. My thinking was that I was going to have like a translate next to the text, or it should be translated automatically for me into English, and that's how I understood it to be. However, that was not the case, and when I went to read your message, though, it actually came up reading it in an Arabic TTS, and it wasn't even complete. So I was a little bit disappointed when it comes to the messaging translation.
Yeah, because of that, we were talking about the failure, because we tried like several times to let it work. We weren't able to, actually, you weren't able to find anything related to the translation chip or anything like that. Also, you tried long pressing the message, but no translation. Also, you tried going to more options. Even you tried restarting the device, just saying that, okay, this would fix the problem, but this didn't fix it. So either there's a problem, or it's the chip that is shown is not accessible. So it could be one of two things. So I don't know actually, but it's easier, just so much easier to go to a translation app and paste the text here. This is what you did after giving up the
failure.
after giving up Google's implementation. So and Gemini did a good translation, although the translation was an online one, but it was good.
Yeah, because in that area where you add the languages, you see a few other languages outside of the ones that we mentioned, the French and the German and all that stuff. You have languages like Albanian, and other languages in there. And by the way, I think Hindi is one of the languages that are supported in the real live translation as well. So, we have some Indian language in there as well. So I'm really kind of happy with what we have. But my thought was that the messages, at least the ones that do not get the voice translation, would automatically also have that messages translated. But it failed when Karen and I tried it. Unless, of course, I was doing something wrong. I'll have to play with it again, but I don't know what I did wrong.
Could it possibly, I mean, I haven't tried it, but could it possibly be a talkback issue? Like, what if it's showing up as English, but talkback is not seeing it as English? Could that possibly be what's going on?
Yeah, well, it could be. I couldn't tell because it was just a little sliver of text there that I could see. But when you touched that area, then it comes up, reading in Arabic TTS.
Yeah, we'll have to investigate more. See if it was user error.
No,
or
John.
talkback error.
John.
Yeah.
John, the Arabic TTS is able to read the English letters, so this shouldn't be a problem.
But Warren was saying I'm saying, what if like the actual text that's shown on the screen, it shows it in both languages, but the text that TalkBack is seeing is only the original language. You know what I mean?
No, the thing is, he was using the Google TTS. So actually, the text is passed to Google TTS. And if you have like a sentence, for example, including Arabic and English, if Google TTS decides to read the message through the Arabic TTS, it would read the English, but in the Arabic accent. However, if it decides that it is going to use the English TTS, then the Arabic text wouldn't be read. Do you get the point?
I think so.
Station list.
So here's the message between Karen and I.
You said, hello, Karen. This is a test. Let's send it out Thursday, 12:37 p.m.
And then
Karine, Lebanon said.
أريد أن أخبرك أن لبنان بلد جميل.
Thursday, 12:41.
yeah, so that
So
was
now
not
do
even
it.
complete.
So do an image description on that. So put that in focus and then
It is in
do an
focus,
image
so let
description
me-
and have it read the text using Gemini.
Image description. The image is a dark gray background with white Arabic text. The text says, which translates to, hello, my friend. I want to tell you that Lebanon is a beautiful country. Thank you, in horizontal pager.
Oh yeah, so see, it does, but that shouldn't be, because it
So it
should
is
have just.
actually showing up in Arabic and not. Maybe
Yeah,
maybe you
it's
did have it
showing
set
in
wrong or
English.
something.
No, I didn't. I restarted the phone, thinking maybe it's my fault, and I mean I went through everything,
Do you have to
possibly.
set the language for each person? I've never used it.
No, you download the language pack, and I
Okay.
did. I did download the Arabic language pack, and all of that, but still, it did not happen. But yeah, that's what
And
happened.
forward the message to John, because he now has his Pixel, so he can try it.
I should forward it to John. John, you want me to forward it to you? I'll forward it to you, and you see what happens.
We'll figure it out later. We'll report back.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, but I think it's not showing up in English at all. But my expectation was that there should be a translate button next to it, even if it doesn't display it in English or renders it in English. There should be a translate, because the idea is that it should be able to just show me that text in my language, right? So I'm texting with someone. You got that news quiz somewhere else that doesn't speak your language. Sally, I'm looking at you. And then you can just have this magic happening. So
Yeah,
it failed.
I get the sense something wasn't working right. But the more important question is, how many Koreans do you know from different countries? Like, why do you have Korean Lebanon in your contacts? As if you have Koreans from all different countries in your
You
contacts.
never can tell with a man, you never can tell. Sometimes some of these things are kept as a secret. Just kidding. But well, my whole thing is, when you travel and you make friends, or even online friends that you make, a lot of people that we communicate with actually are using translations and all of that. But if you happen to be corresponding or communicating with them directly, we should be able to have this as a flawless process.
One thing I want to mention regarding the translation or the differences between Samsung and Google's implementation, which is something that I like, and I hope that Google also will implement. On Samsung phones, you are able to use other apps. Like, you are not only required to use the phone app, so you are in a regular call, so you can just use WhatsApp. And when we tried it last year, we did it with WhatsApp. So it's much better to be able to use it with third-party applications, because if you are talking with someone who is not living in your own country and who is using another language, it's usually much better to use web applications, not to use traditional phone calls because of the costs. So I hope that Google is would do it like Samsung and would implement this feature, or would support the feature with third party, at least the popular apps like WhatsApp.
That's a very good point. Should be able to do that. That will make it even better. Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your Spotlight.
And next we have the Spotlight, where we'll be talking about a few things. Samsung released a new phone and some tablets. And then we'll also be talking about security updates to Samsung and Pixel devices, as well as the fall feature drop for Pixel devices that contains the Material 3 Expressive, if I remembered correctly what that's called.
Karen, girl, you are the one that's always kept up to task with all of these new changes, devices, and all of that. Let's talk about what's Samsung dropping in on us. Because it used to be, John, didn't it used to be that Samsung would do this tablet thing in October? They moved it back to September earlier this year, maybe giving them more time to sell, giving them a lot of time, because you know what? Buying between now till Christmas, lots of time for people to buy those devices. So I was kind of surprised that they moved it back to September. Or was I wrong?
They did this last year, I think. Also, they also used to group it in with Unpacked. So sometimes they would release the tablets during the summer. Sometimes they would release the tablets during the winter with their Unpacked events when they release the phones. But the last couple of years, they've just been releasing the tablets whenever separately, and not really making as big a deal about it.
So, Karen, we got two tablets, right? We got one nice one, which is just for regular people who do not want to pay too much money. And then we have the super duper tablet for, power users, people who just want something more shiny, something more showy. I don't know what the language is, but let's talk about these. And there's also fun, isn't it? Take us through some of those, Karen, if you will.
Well, I'll leave the tablets aside, because usually this is the job of John or Saleh. They are the tablet guys, so I'll leave it for them. But I'll talk about the phone, which is the S25 FE, the Fan Edition. FE stands for Fan Edition. Well, it's known that Samsung releases the regular S25 series phones in January, and then they release after a few months the FE version, which is let's say the light version of the regular S series phones. It will be with less specs compared to the even the S25 not even the Plus or the Pro version, the Ultra, I mean. So it's usually for people who like Samsung phones, who don't want to go with the A series, who want an S series phone, which is like cheaper than the regular S phones. So, and this year was like it was the same. It was the same thing that they used to do always. So we have the S25 FE, which is like similar, sort of similar to what we had last year. Actually, it's using a different processor. It's not using the same processor that you have with the S25 series. Okay, first of all, let me talk about software. You will be getting Android 16 out of the box, and you will get 7 years of software updates, which is good. They are like doing the same, or they are giving it the same treatment they give to their S phones, which is good. We are talking about the battery, which is 4,900 mAh, which is good. I don't remember if it's the same like last year.
No, there is an upgrade from 24 FE, but the cameras are the same.
Do you remember what was the size of the S24 FE?
The size of S24 FE was 213 grams, but now it's going to be lighter. Also slimmer. It's like it was 8 mils and now it's 7.6, right? Yeah.
It was actually, now we are talking about 190 grams.
Yeah.
And we are talking
lighter.
about 7.4 millimeters.
So what I have with my S25 Plus is the same weight, is 190, but yeah, it got the Snapdragon Elite. That tells a lot.
But the good thing, though, is that the battery is bigger than last year's version, right? Because, I mean, the most important thing for most people, that battery life is very important. And also, if the screen is the same as last year or whatever, but they have a better battery, then you have a better, performance. So, I mean, you use it longer than when you need to hit the charger.
Honestly, the only drawback for those who want to get S25 FE is the RAM. It's going to be 8, and it starts with 128, 256, and there's also a 512 version, but most probably it's going to be 128 and 256, and the RAM is going to be 8. No matter what storage you choose, it's going to be 8 gigs of RAM. So there's no 12.
Yeah, well, there are good things. I mean, it's just Samsung is trying to do it right in some areas. Like you are getting Victus Plus on both the back of the phone and the front of the phone, which is good. You are getting aluminum frame, which is also good. And other than that, it's IP68. IP68 rated. So no IP69. No, it's not that the water jets and stuff that Chinese OEMs tell us about or include in their phones. This is the
and
typical
Warren,
Samsung.
it supports eSIM, so that's a good part. I guess they've done something for like in between S25 and like. If you want to get this, you need to sacrifice some of the features from S25, the base model, and also the Plus one. So it has only 8 gigs. The cameras are same as S24 FE, and the battery is bigger. But as the Exynos 2400 processor, not the E1, but the 2400 processor, which is better than the last one, the 24 FE.
We're talking about 6.7 inch screen, which is bigger than the screen size of the S25. So even the S25 has a smaller battery, but also you have to put into consideration the bigger screen size of the S25 FE.
So FE has the same size, same weight with 25 plus, but the processor and RAM is a good deal breaker on here.
So what I'm thinking is, I'm looking at as to who this phone is for.
Yeah.
So this is for people that, you don't want to spend a flagship money, and yet in the same breath, you want something that is not an A series, or something that's a little bit above the A series. And so somewhere in the middle and all of that, this is the type of people that this phone is for, because I believe that thing is selling for what, like $650 or something in that neighborhood. And I think it says it's not coming to the States, or did I read that wrong? I'm not sure, but I thought it says it wasn't available in the States. John, usually you're the one that kind of look up the prices. It's available. Okay.
This is the reason why So what's the, Karine, remind me, what is the best A series phone right now? Is it the
A56?
Yeah, that was not available. That's not available in the States. I think we have to get the 36. So, and this is why, because they want you to have to buy the fan edition when it comes out. So yeah.
One another interesting thing is that this phone comes with Android 16, and on S25 series we still have Android 15. So that's the same thing again. Samsung is doing.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, and you're getting one additional year of support.
Like FE is gonna get one additional software. Like it's gonna be up to Android 23, like 7 years, and on S25 series we're gonna have up to 22. So what do you say for that?
You mean 32 and 33?
No, 22.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. 10 years or 20 years. But really, I'm kind of thinking about these phones and looking at all the AI stuff. Is 8 gigs now a good thing in this day and age?
Don't think so. I think that's the thing.
That's a shortfall there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you can't make your FE phone similar to your regular S phone.
Yeah, like
it won't make sense.
I'm being greedy. Yeah,
like
I'm being greedy.
Imagine if it had 12 gigs, the plus would go away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, so I don't think that it's compared to the plus. It's compared more to the S25.
The best model.
If we just ignore the screen size.
No, the screen size.
Yeah, that's the confusing thing about it is if you're buying for the screen size, then you'd have to choose between this and the plus, which is another $350 on top of the $650. Yeah. So it's like it's a little weird. If you're only buying for like specs, it makes a
overall. I love my S25 Plus so far. So
yeah, I know you do. So what this reminds me of is the OnePlus 13R. So if you didn't want to pay so much money, this would be the one to get. So you get the FE instead of the big flagship.
Yeah, but the R is usually, I think, cheaper. So it makes more sense. But Samsung, I think it's competing with Samsung. So Samsung is competing with Samsung. They are putting so many phones and so many ranges, and they are close in price. So I don't know what are they trying to do. I mean, look at the A56 and the A36, which are close in price, and then so look also at the S25, which is now cheaper. It should be, I think, cheaper than how it was the price when it was launched. So even you will be able to get the S25 at a cheaper price right now. So it could be also similar to the price of the to the price of the S25 FE. So I think they are just confusing people more. They're just adding more and more phones. They should do something to make things just easier on people.
John, let's talk about Tabletville. You're in Tabletville. You like that stuff. Tablets, when it comes to tablets, I think you and Sally, tablet guys. Talk about those tablets, shall we?
Yeah. I'm a little angry right now. So I don't know
How
if
is
you
that? I thought you
I'm
like
angry
those
at Samsung
tablets.
right now. So remember I was telling you about this awesome feature where you could reverse cast from your TV to your Samsung tablet if you had a
Oh
Samsung
yeah,
TV.
that's right. Yeah, you
And that way I
mentioned
could
that
watch the same thing as what people are watching on TV.
on the big screen. Yeah.
So football season got going. I got excited. I went to cast and the option wasn't there. So I did some research. Samsung removed it from One UI 7.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that's not a feature anymore. So I'm a
That's
little
really good.
salty right now, but I'll still talk about the tablets. So last year they made the switch from Qualcomm chips to MediaTek Dimensity chips, which they're still like the high end chip, but they made the switch, and they're continuing that this year. Saleh or Kareem, do you know the exact chip that's in it? I'm assuming it's just whatever the latest, greatest is from
The
MediaTek.
9000 series, maybe that
Yeah,
would be nice.
so don't quote me on it, but it is a MediaTek chip. But the odd thing is, so
It's like 94. What I say?
Yeah, so it's the
Yeah, 94.
9000 series. Yeah.
Yeah, 9400 plus.
okay, so
Okay.
and also what they did last year. So the S8 series had three sizes: the 11-inch, which was just the S8. The S8 Plus was I think it was 12 and a half, and then the Ultra was 14 and a half. And what they did last year, or excuse me, what I just said with S8 is true, but also true with the S9 series. They had those three models with S9 as well. But then with the S10 series last year, they got rid of the smaller one, which a lot of people were upset about. So there was no 11-inch. There was only 12 and a half and 14 and a half. So they had the Plus and the Ultra, but not the standard.
Yeah, I
This
remember
year-
we both complained
Yeah.
about it, John.
Uh-huh. This year, so I don't know if they're just going to alternate years, but this year they have only the standard and the Ultra. So they don't have the Plus. So you can get it, this S11, you can get in 11 inches, or you can get the Ultra in 14 and a half inches. And, they're basically the same they've been for years. I mean, they're a little bit thinner. The screens are brighter. And I think the main difference is the processor. So I wouldn't be in a rush to upgrade to these unless you just have one of these tablets and you're not happy with the performance of it anymore. Like if it's 3 or 4 years old, or 3 or 4 generations old, I should say, because they don't always release these every year. But other than that, it's just minor, not a whole lot has changed. I think they changed the size just enough to make you buy new cases, but overall it's the same size.
Talking about all the hardware, how about software? So we also have software now. We're moving to software land, and we got those security patches both for Google and Samsung. There were lots of some exploits that Google fixed, some very serious. And what we're going to do, we're just going to simply put the URL in the show notes, rather, so that you can read about that, because there are some over 120 plus fixes, and we're not going to sit here all day trying to read those to you, but you can read about those in the show notes. But other than that, I think we're good, because these vulnerabilities were things that affected Android 15 and 16 users, and some of them affected the Android 13 users. So I'm glad to see that. This is why I think software for me trumps the hardware sometimes, because some of these things were actually being exploited out in the wild. And I'm thankful that Google and Samsung are usually on top of these security patches. Matter of fact, I think that Samsung actually pushed its own security patch ahead of Google, which is really good. So anyway, I haven't seen it on my S23, but if you have like the S25 series, you probably should be seeing the security patch for September. And also we have that big Google QPR program, the feature drop, which includes that security patch for September. And this is what I like about Google, because it comes out and is available for several different phones. Unlike Samsung needs to learn something from Google, and Google needs to learn something from Samsung. Coming up is our Tip of the Week segment. This is a segment where we show you a trick or two on how to use a certain feature on your phone or in a given app. If you have a tip that you would like to share with our listeners, feel free to send us such a tip to contact us at blindandroidusers.com. And now for this week's episode, here's your Tip of the Week.
And here's the tip of the week for this week.
Hi, Warren here for Blind Android Users Podcast, and as we continue with our App of the Week series for episode 248, App of the Week, I would like to continue with our series that is the miniaturized series of the features found on the Pixel 10 series. Thus, for today's episode 248, I'm demonstrating a feature called Take a Message, something I would like to dub as Bring Back My Retro Answering Machine. For today's demonstration, I'm utilizing my Pixel 10 Pro XL running Android 16 and Android Accessibility 16.x. I am on the home screen and will now navigate to the phone app, and that's where this feature is found. Something, though, that I would like to believe that this is something that is found on every phone that's running the Google phone app, as we know that Google is notorious for pushing out features of the new phones to other phones, especially if you're using a Pixel phone. I haven't tried on my Pixel 9 to be sure, but I would like to believe that this may be the case. I will now navigate, though, to that phone app and go look at Take a Message. Let's get started.
Phone.
I'll tap.
Phone. Selected. All. Button. In list. File.
We're now in the phone app, and what we want to do here, though, is tap on that open navigation drawer found on the top left corner of the phone. I'll now do so.
Open navigation drawer. Button. Out of phone. In list. 4 items.
In the pop-up menu, what we want to do is tap on Settings.
Settings. Radio button. 2 of 4.
And I'll tap.
Settings. Back. Button. Out of list.
We're now in the Settings window, and there are lots of items here, but what we are looking for here is a Take a Message item. I'll now scroll down and tap on Take a Message.
Take a message. 11 of 27.
Here is Take a Message. I'll tap.
Take a message. Back. Button. Out of list.
We're now in the window that says Take a Message, and on the top right corner is an on-off switch, which by default I believe is turned on, or maybe I turned it on. But here's what I'm talking about.
Take a message. On. Switch. 1 of 2. In list. 2 items.
And below that we have the description of this feature. Here's what that description is.
Get voice messages, filter spam, and view real-time transcripts from missed or declined calls. Find transcripts and audio for all calls handled by Take a Message in the Home tab. 1 of 2. Your carrier voicemail handles missed calls when your phone is off or out of network. Take a Message won't use data or Wi-Fi, but standard calling charges may apply. Learn more. 2 of 2.
And that's the description of the feature. In other words, this is a feature that works as long as your phone is on. So if someone calls you and you decide to not answer the call, or you miss the call and the person leaves a voice message, that voice message will be taken down for you on your phone. It's not related to your carrier. This is what I like about it, because, for example, with my carrier, it only allows for the saving of 20 messages or receiving up to 20 voice messages, and once that is full, it cannot take any more voice messages. Therefore, I really like this feature because it is locally on your phone and the limit is your phone storage. I hope that this is something that becomes available to everyone, because I really like this feature, and as long as you're using the Google Phone app, I would like to believe you too will have it. And once that happens, all that needs to happen whenever you want to check those messages is to simply launch the phone app, and you'll find both the audio and the text message of the audio if you don't want to listen to the voice messages, but simply read the text transcript. And that would conclude this week's episode. And as always, I want to thank you for listening. And if you like what we're doing, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for listening.
So I'll just start by getting the elephant out of the room. This is obviously copying voiceovers, or not voiceover, iOS's live voicemail feature, which they introduced in iOS 17. But which is not a bad thing. I mean, they copy our features, so we could copy theirs too, right? So I'm glad to have it. I was actually glad to see it here because I have been a little bit jealous of that feature. I'm not gonna lie, but the implementation I'm not a fan of in a couple of respects. The first being that you have to actively decline the call for it to work. So if you're not at your phone and you just let it ring, it will still go to regular voicemail. It will not use this take a message. You have to actually hit decline when you're getting the call to take the message. That's the first thing I'm not a fan of. The second thing is that the voicemail that it saves doesn't go into your voicemail tab with your list of your regular visual voicemails. So you have to actually find it by going to the call history and opening like the history between you and that person, and then you'll be able to open the transcript and listen to the message from there. So it's a little unorganized in my opinion. I wish it would just put them in with the other voicemails. But the most important thing that I'm a little upset about is I basically couldn't figure out how to use it with TalkBack, because what happens is the text that it displays as the person is typing is just one element, and as the person's talking, it's refreshing that element. So as they keep talking, what TalkBack does is it just, as that element refreshes, it starts reading it over again. So you can't like swipe through the conversation that the person is leaving. It just keeps repeating like the first thing or two that they said. So you can't actually sit there and monitor their entire voicemail and decide whether or not you want to pick it up or not. So I was a little disappointed with that. Do you have anything you want to add, Warren, or a rebuttal to that?
Well, my rebuttal would be that this indeed, the whole idea is that if you're not there, I believe you don't have to decline the call. If you call me and I'm not there and you leave a message, both my voice message from my carrier and this feature will both have your message. And at least that's my understanding of it, because we're going to be trying it on here live. Yeah. But another thing, though, the whole idea of leaving a message, I see it as an answering machine. That's why I call it the retro answering machine, because if I'm not there and I don't want to answer the call or whatever, when you leave me a message, it's there. And what I like about it is the fact that my carrier, for example, only allows me to receive only 20 messages or whatever, and when that is full, it cannot receive any messages anymore. So with this, for me, it's a lifesaver, because I've missed a lot of messages that people try to leave me a message, because I'm one of those that never delete my messages and all of that. And so this is, for me, indeed, is a lifesaver, because when I was on Google Fi, for example, I literally have like almost 2,000 voice messages on there because there was no limitation. So I like this, but I think that what you're talking about, whatever the message while someone is leaving the message, that sounds to me more like the phone screening or call screening, where you could say, hey, who is this? You tap on who is this, and then they can respond to it, and you see what they're saying before you answer. But again, let's go ahead and try. You call me, John, and I'm just going to let it ring until you leave a voice message. I'm not going to decline the call. So I have my phone sitting right here in front of me, and we'll just demonstrate that for you guys live on here.
All right, let me get my phone here. Call Warren Carr on speaker.
Would you like to call Warren Carr?
Yes.
Calling Warren Carr.
I hope I didn't put my phone on silent. Oh, there it is.
10:16 a.m. Touch the fingerprint sensor. Phone. U.S. mobile verified.
All right, so it's ringing on here. I don't know if the call is if it's being canceled out, but it's still ringing.
It's ringing here too.
Okay.
Locks.
The person you have called is not available. Please leave a message after the tone.
Phone call volume set to 29%.
Okay, so that did sound like it did answer it. It wasn't answering it on mine for some reason. So
Screen
this
on.
is the message that I am now leaving for Warren to go back and review, I guess. All right, I'm hanging up now.
Open Gemini app.
Okay, so you've left me a message. I think if there's any complaint that I have about this would be, I would like to be able to record my own message saying, hey, sorry, I missed your call. Leave a voice message or leave a message. I didn't find that, but I'm going to go into my missed calls now, see if that message got taken, because I believe it should be taken.
10:17
So
a.m.
let's see.
Press firmly on the sensor. Lock device unlocked. Kareem Lebanon said.
Oh, let me get out of the message.
Phone has one notification. Phone.
All right.
Selected.
So when you go to your phone app, it's in the home tab.
Selected. Home. Tab 1 of 3.
And so we're
list of
going to
3
look
items.
at the,
Get banner. Today. Heading. Out of list. John Dyer. Mobile. Missed call 1 minute ago. In verified. Caller's message. HD. From Virginia. Transcript. Okay. So that did sound like it did answer it. It wasn't answering it on mine for some reason. So for period. This is the messa.
so you tap on this.
Showing
And
items 1 to 5 of 53.
when you tap on it, though, you have the text and you also have the play button. Let's see.
Okay. So that missed call.
So there we go.
Okay. So that did sound like it did answer it. It selected. Home.
Whoops.
Okay. So that did.
So
Next steps.
there's the next step.
Ensure Warren reviews the message.
Okay.
Next steps are AI generated
gonna-
and may summarize sensitive content. Learn
Okay.
more.
I'm going to
Showing
tap on
Play button.
play. Oops.
Yeah, it comes out of the earpiece, so we might not be able to hear it.
Let me. I'm going.
It wasn't answering it
Speaker
on mine for
button.
some reason.
Showing
So-
items 2 to 5 of 53.
This is the message that I am now leaving for Warren to go back and review, I guess. All right, I'm hanging up now.
So
All right,
John
so go.
Play button.
So now
Well-
go back to the see if it shows up in the voicemail tab for you. Because
no,
for
no,
me,
it wouldn't be in the voicemail tab because the voicemail is from your carrier. This one is on your device. This is an on-device
okay.
thing.
So
It has nothing to
that's
do
my
with the
complaint.
cloud.
Then I think they should all be together.
No, it shouldn't because
Well,
this is
because
not
Google
coming from the
decided
carrier.
differently, right? And Google's always right.
Yeah, but well, no, it's not about Google being right or wrong, but Google explained in the process that this is different from your carrier. So it will take both the message from your carrier. If your carrier mail is not full, it will take it. But in the event, this is why I
Yeah.
like it.
I'll
my
have to figure
carrier is
out
full.
why mine's not doing that
yeah,
though, because
then this-
mine's going straight to my carrier voice. Well, I shouldn't say straight. If I don't decline it, it goes to my carrier voicemail, and I don't know why that is.
You have to turn the feature on,
Oh.
though.
No, I've used
Yeah.
the feature. This is why I know it's garbage. So should we even bother demonstrating monitor, like actually screening it, like
Well, but
looking
that's
at the text?
scroll screening is
No,
you know,
I'm not
like-
talking about crawl screening. I'm talking about monitoring the message they're leaving. Should we even bother demonstrating it?
maybe not, because
like I said, it doesn't work.
If someone calls me, I'll answer their call. The whole idea is that I'm not there, or
Well,
I don't want
Warren,
to
don't say the whole idea, because
I don't want
there's
to
a button that
answer the call.
says join call. So like there's a notification that shows up. It says taking a message, and then you can open it and you can look at what the person is saying, and you can decide whether it's important enough to answer the call or not, and still answer the call. So the whole idea is not to only leave voicemails.
So maybe if it's refreshing, probably it's going to be hard for the screen reader to read. I'm looking at it. It's probably like maybe call screening could be refreshing. I mean, probably call screening is a little bit better, but I think maybe this one is refreshing in real time as well. So it may make it a little bit harder for the screen reader to keep up with. But I think what excites me about this is that I now have my old answering machine bring it back, and because this is on my device, it's not somewhere out there. But the only complaint, like I said earlier, I would love a situation where I record my own voice saying, hey, I'm sorry, I missed your call, just leave a message. I haven't figured out a way to record my own greeting.
So I did figure that out. You can do it from the voicemail settings. Like if you go into the phone settings, then go to voicemail and record your greeting, it will save that as the greeting for both your carrier voicemail and this. So yeah, you can record your own.
Neat.
So that makes one of us happy.
Yeah, well, I'm very happy then. All good things must end. Thus, it's curtain drawing time, bringing us to the close of this week's episode. Coming up, though, we give you information on how to get hold of us. Well, folks, with that, though, we come to the end of this episode. And as always, John is ready to give you information on how to get hold of us. And here's John to give you that information on how to get hold of us. John?
To contact us, simply send an email to contactus@blindandroidusers.com. If you'd prefer, you can leave a voicemail by calling +1 307 202 9797. You can join our mailing list by sending a blank email to blindandroidusers+subscribe@groups.io. You can join our Facebook and Telegram groups or subscribe to our YouTube channel using the links in the podcast show notes or YouTube video description. And you can find all of this information and more at our website, blindandroidusers.com.
Thank you so much, John. And as always, guys, thanks for listening to us. We wish you a great week. And from me, I want to say, have a great week and see you next week, God willing. Cheerio.
Have a great week. Thanks for listening.
Have a beautiful week. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Have a great week.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Blind Android Users Podcast. Until we see you next week, don't forget to leave us your comments and suggestions via our email contact or using any of our social media sites. Have a great week.